Hello and welcome to another Tune for Media lesson. Today we're going to synthesize an incredible sounding snare drum using Operator in Ableton Live. Now, the reason I'll sometimes choose a synthesized drum and not a sample drum is because potentially a synthesized drum can be a lot more musical and responsive than a sample drum. A sample drum is relying on samples that are triggered in different velocities. And a synthesized drum is more linear and responsive to different velocities. So if you're not looking for a realistic drum sound, and if you're looking for a very good, responsive, and musical instrument, then sometimes a synthesized drum can be the choice. All right, let's start. The first thing that I'll do is to change the algorithm. I want to stack 3 oscillators and leave one to be independent. So this is the 5th algorithm. So you see you have B, C, and D all stacked together, and A is independent. I'll start with B. So I'm going to choose fixed values because we're going to synthesize a drum, so we don't want different frequencies. And let's choose 150 hertz. And let's bring up the volume. So this is what we have now. I'm going to change the value of the release to around 200 milliseconds. So now we have a little more sustain. And I'm going to change the velocity to around 70% because I wanted to react to different velocity. I also like to go to the global control and let the velocity control the time in around 40%. So it means that if I'm hitting hard, the release will be a little longer than if I'm hitting soft. So it's kind of like a real drum. If you're hitting a drum harder, you get a little more sustain. So this is what we have so far. Okay, pretty cool. What I also like to do is to add a little bit of a pitch envelope. And I want to control just oscillator B. So we're going to do a very fast one. That's it. Just adds a little more excitement. Now I'm going to copy oscillator B to C, like that. And oscillator C is riding or modulating oscillator B. Adding oscillator C to B will now create a brighter tone. So I want this oscillator to be a little shorter in release. So let's take it to around 70 milliseconds. And I want to bring down the volume a little bit. So this is what we have so far. Okay, great. So now let's go to oscillator D. This is where it gets really exciting. We're going to add to the modulation white noise. So let's add it. Now this will make the drum a lot more realistic and brighter because we added a lot of randomness to the waveform. Sounds cool. I also activated the filter here and just cut a little bit of the low end just to control the low end a little bit more. Now lastly, I'm going to go to oscillator A. And remember, oscillator A is independent from the others. And I'm going to add noise looped so I can control the tone of the noise in this case. And let's just bring it to around 140 millisecond release and around 25% velocity. And I also brought down a little bit the pitch envelope because I felt like it's a little too much. All right, so let's listen. Let's do a little bit of mixing. Play a little bit with the release of the snare buzz. And of course, I can bring up a little bit of reverb and do a whole bunch of stuff to make it sound a little bigger and nicer. Alright, I hope you learned something from this video, and if you like this video, please subscribe for more, and see you next time. Stay tuned.